So guys, it is nearly 6 o'clock Sunday evening and it is twilight. It's getting brighter, the days are getting longer, slowly but surely. Mr. Jinx, however, is still hibernating, but we'll just have a little quick look and see what's happening. So if I just open the glass doors. Get my mirror. And let's have a little look and see what we can see. I place my camera over there and then place the mirror above the hide. Now I tend to do this weekly. I can just about see him. Oh yeah, he's moving about. He's moving about. He's looking colourful. So he could have had a shed recently. I'll just take it away from there just in case the torch is flashing in his face. So, as we're sort of in the middle of February-ish, we can see that outside the days are getting brighter. Over in their natural habitat in Potwar Plateau, Pakistan, the days are getting a bit brighter there as well. So sunrise in that area is about 7 a.m. and sunset is about just before 6 o'clock, about 10 to 6, something like that. So the lighting setup here, in my previous video, this UVB, this Jungle Dawn and that Jungle Dawn were all placed sort of half on and half on the plastic. So half on the mesh, half on the plastic. So this plastic frame, this wooden frame with a piece of acrylic, just got it cheap from discount shop in town, The Range. I think, I don't know, cost about a £5, say. And what I do with this in the winter time, so when it's darker, so say like end of December, beginning of January, there is literally only the UVB light on and the basking light set to the lowest setting on the thermostat. And then as the days get a bit brighter, so week by week, the lighting gets adjusted, moved off that plastic. So eventually this plastic will be removed until the autumn, say from around about the middle of March. I do have another LED lighting unit which sits on this mesh lid, and that will come into action from around the middle of March again, or maybe from the beginning of March, but on top of the plastic. And then as the days get brighter again, then the plastic will be removed. Yeah. So that's a little update on the lighting setup. What I also, if you're wondering what these green things are, so it is gardening wire that I've used to tie these little gadgets. So I've got a dehumidifier here. It's not on all the time. I just put it on occasionally, and it does suck out some of the moisture in the air of the terrarium and just cleans it out a little bit, stops it from getting like stagnant and whatnot. There's also an air purifier on this side, which when I bought it initially, I thought it was a dehumidifier, but then I realised when I read the instructions that it's actually not. But I kept it anyway. That rarely comes on. That just sort of purifies the air, because Thing with terrariums, even though this has got a mesh lid, so there is some ventilation going in, the air can get a bit stagnant in there sometimes. So these just sort of help reduce that. Also, there's some fans there in the corner. They come on, I think, 3 or 4 times a day. So that gives a little bit of airflow in the terrarium. Okay, so while I'm here, I'm just going to do a quick run through of what plants I have. So I have a lace aloe, aloe vera, haworthia, jade plant. That's looking a little bit battered and bruised. It has been moved around a fair bit, but it is still surviving. Sedum corticola. Ficus. That's a ficus tree. Spearmint. Then at the back here, this sort of leafy plant here, that is a snake plant, mother-in-law's tongue. And we have a grass, Carex grass, over there, near the log hide. Then we have the dwarf Schmidt wormwood, which I'm hoping is in winter dormancy. So I'm hoping that when the temperatures get a bit warmer, that will spring to life a little bit more, because it's looking a little bit sorry at the moment, but there is still a little bit of sign of life. This one and this, which is a helianthemum or a rock rose, once they're established, they are drought tolerant. But this wormwood doesn't like watering that much at all. So I only give that like a little couple of drops, literally. Or even just the runoff. So when I'm giving the other plants a little watering, with my watering now, I only literally give a little trickle. Yeah. So I'm not going to water it tonight because I watered it about 5 days ago, I think it was now, which is enough. And that was only a little trickle, and the trickle will trickle down through the leaves into these little pockets and whatnot. And that for this plant here should be enough, and for the helianthemum. But this helianthemum is looking a little bit sad as well, and I'm thinking it's because of the lack of light. So hopefully it can hang in there until March, when there'll be full lighting on again, and then hopefully that will spring into action a little bit more. Okay. Then in the corner here we have a sedum cape. Ooh, do you know what? I've forgotten now what it is. It's a type of sedum. Yeah, I got it from the garden centre. Why have I gone for sedums? Well, I was recommended by a chap who owns a nursery local to me, which sells and grows rare and unusual plants, so like alpines, herbs and whatnot. And I asked him, because when I sort of was wanting to sort of get plants that grow sort of around Pakistan, Afghanistan, leopard gecko kind of area, he said he recommended that alpines for the terrarium setup. I showed him a picture of the terrarium, and because obviously this is a terrarium and not in the outdoors or in the wild, some plants just, struggle to tolerate the terrarium inside conditions. So he recommended sort of like leaning towards alpines, yeah, and he recommended this sedum. And when I looked it up on a database of Flora of Pakistan, which I will put a link in the description below for you to access, so I typed in the name of this plant into that database, and there was although this specific species didn't come up, there was other varieties of sedum that came up that grow in Pakistan. So I just sort of, thought, well, that will be good enough. Yeah. And I thought sedum, as that one's doing well, I thought I'll go for another one as well, just to kind of add a bit of decor to the cooler end. Okay. Yeah, so, and then we have an asparagus fern in this, Asparagus officalis, yeah, which also grows in Pakistan, yeah. So, and this one, even though I cut it back in November, the same with this, they have both grown again, yeah. So, so they're certainly thriving. These succulents here, they don't need watering at all, really. Well, they do, but like they can go months without water. They're drought tolerant, so hence why they're on the arid side. Yeah. So this side gets very, very little watering. It's very dry. Whereas the sort of cooler end, and especially that area in the back there, which is sort of designed to be a bit more semi-arid subtropical, which this area here gets like monsoon rainfall in the summer, which mimics their wild habitat as well, yeah, and it can get more humid, yeah. And increased humidity also can drive the geckos out at night time. Hot and humid nights drives them out to hunt and explore, in theory. But because of the cooler temperatures, the Mr. Jinx is still in sort of winter dormancy. But he is, as we just saw now, he is showing signs of more activity. So it could well be any time between now and, say, the middle of March, or, that he could come out. Yeah. So that's exciting, something to look forward to. So, any bugs lurking around tonight? Nothing there. Nothing there. There was a cricket chirping here the other night. First time I've heard a cricket chirp since like September, October last year. Nothing there either. Oh, got some isopods under there. It's very quiet under there. It's very dry as well, but that's okay.